Why is breaking up so hard even when we know it's the right thing to do? I'll never understand that feeling. But I'm going to try to explain it. I mean, let's be honest, nobody likes being the one to end things. It's awkward, it's emotional, and you're probably overthinking about how they're going to react. And you're probably waiting for the right time, waiting for the perfect moment, but let me tell you this right off the bat, there's no right time. And the truth is, breaking up doesn't have to be as painful as we make it. It's going to feel painful, but there's a way to do it without completely shattering someone's heart. And coming from somebody that has their heart completely obliterated multiple times, I want to talk to you about how you could do it with a little bit more love still left over. Let's talk about it. I also thought this was a fitting hoodie for it, the Missing You hoodie. I'm sorry, I know this is sad, but I thought it was funny. I'll link it down below. But we've all been there. You've been in the relationship for a while and you start feeling that something's off, like something's just not clicking. The connection is there, you're out of sync. For reference, if it was at the 3-month time, then I made a video that's going to be up here or up here. I forget which corner all the time, but that will help explain that. So maybe at this point in the relationship, you're not as happy, or you feel that the spark is fading. So then you hesitate because you don't want to hurt them. But let's be honest, what ends up happening? You drag it out and things get way worse. You're avoiding the inevitable, and trust me, avoiding it only makes the hurt run longer. I think the hardest thing to explain when we're going to break up with someone is the guilt that we feel. So the first thing that I want you to understand is that breaking up doesn't mean you're a bad person. In fact, it can be the most caring thing that you do. If the relationship just isn't working, it's not working. And sometimes it's just more kind to let go than it is to hold on to something that is no longer making either of you happy. And even if they say that they're so happy in this relationship, how can they be happy when you aren't? It's not a relationship. A relationship takes two. And they might just be saying that because all of these emotions are being rushed to the surface. So the reason why you clicked on this video, how do you do it? How do you end things with someone while still respecting them and yourself? I got 5 things. 1, be honest, but be kind. You need to be clear about why it's ending, but you don't need to go overboard with harsh details. You can be truthful without being hurtful. 2, do it in person. Listen, TikTok buddy, Snapchat friend, whatever it is you call yourself. I don't care that it's 2024. We're people. You have to connect in person. Now, to be fair, unless this was a toxic or long-distance relationship, having this conversation in person shows respect and gives closure. 3, pick the right time and place. Now, I know I said there's not going to be a right time, but that was more generalized speaking. We're actually talking about the breaking up point, the moment of the sentence, I want to break up. Privacy is key. Don't do this at a public dinner at a restaurant or just when their grandpa passed away and they're having a bad day. Find a neutral, quiet space where you both can talk openly. It can be a conversation. It doesn't just need to be a one line and out the door. 4, prepare for their reaction. Now they might cry, they might get angry, or they might be friggin' relieved, but be ready for whatever comes and give them the space to process it. And what that means is don't go in there thinking that they're just going to get mad or they're just going to cry or it's going to go the exact way that you play it in your head. Go in there with an open mind and just be honest with yourself. And 5, don't give false hope. Sometimes we blow things off by saying things like, maybe we can get back together, or let's just take a break. Let's just see how our break works.
We were on a break!
If you know it's over, be clear about that. That's it. False hope only delays their healing. I remember a time when I held off breaking off with somebody because I didn't want to be a bad person. And I think I was thinking more about myself than I was thinking about them. I was thinking about how guilty and awful that I was going to feel for making somebody feel bad. And I was scared about how they'd react. Or I was scared that they wouldn't react the way that I thought they would. And I think the worst part is that they ended up not really reacting at all. They just said okay, and it made me feel that it didn't really matter.
Robin, look at this. Oh, can't adorable. Am I right?
Excuse me.
I didn't mean to get emotional here. Just thinking about it. And just to be honest with you, I was a little scared that I'd be missing out on something great, but it was just me overthinking and feeling guilty for how I was feeling about them. It didn't go well. The more I put it off, the worse I felt. And by the time that I finally did it, we were both hurting more than we should have been, or at least I was. They didn't really show much emotion. And if I would have been upfront from the start, we both could have moved on a lot quicker. Yeah. That was a tough time. Okay, so let's get real for a second. If you're watching this video, you're probably already halfway out the door in your head. So yeah, it's tough. Sometimes the kindest thing that you could do for the both of you is just rip off that Band-Aid. And no, sending a breakup text doesn't count as ripping off that Band-Aid. If you're over 12 years old, you should be able to have a conversation in person. I think. I don't know these days. Heck, especially if this is somebody that you have been intimate with, the least that you can do is have a conversation in person to end it. Look, breaking up is not easy. I'm not here to tell you that it is. It's uncomfortable and it's emotional, but if you approach it with honesty, respect, kindness, and you can walk away knowing that you did your best. You know, both of you deserve to move on and find something that makes you truly happy. So just take that deep breath. You got this. I promise it's gonna be okay. So stay you, and I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully something a little bit more uplifting. Maybe you'll find love.